Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to another video, and this will be part two in the series. What series? Well, this is going to be this guy. Oh, hey, he's not black anymore. He's gray. Well, this is the SR-71 Blackbird, 1/72nd scale by Academy. So, as you guys know, last time we started unboxing this thing and taking a look at it and got the cockpit all made. Well, I did this off stream. I put the two halves together last night and put a little bit of putty in where there's some big seams. You just don't want to have big seams. I don't know why Academy did it, but they have one seam line right here. You can see that white line. If for whatever reason, that's not the two halves of this thing going together. If this thing was molded all in one piece, but for whatever reason they got this huge seam line going across there. So I filled that in a little bit just to make it a little bit smaller and make it more in line with the rest of the panel lines on this. So we're just about ready to airbrush this thing. Did I say airbrush? Yes, I did. I'm actually going to airbrush this. Although I do have some black Tamiya spray can paint, I have decided I'm going to paint this NATO black, which I believe is a more accurate color to what this plane actually is. So I have to fire up my air compressor. So that's on, and I have some NATO black right there. That's Vallejo model Air 71.251 NATO black. That guy there. Shake this up a little bit. I am going to mix in a little bit of leveling thinner, just a little bit, because I want to, I don't know, although you can spray this stuff right out of the bottle, it is still, for my taste, even though I don't have a lot of experience airbrushing so much, I like to be able to spray close, and so I want it a little bit thin, right? And use not so much pressure. But that's just me. And I like the leveling thinner, that it kind of just keeps it from drying quite so fast. And yeah, that's about it. Okay, so I've got my exhaust nozzles. I have painted the insides of them, which is why I have them masked off. So I'm going to need this. So I can go like this. And that way I'm not painting my fingers. And these guys. I could do that. When I get around to do this side, I'll be painting my hand, so I don't want to do that. I can always put on a glove. These guys, what I'll do with these is I'll just paint them first. I'll paint these guys first, and then leave them, let them sit while I do the rest, and by the time I'm done with the rest, the paint should be dry enough I can flip them over and do that. So, let's just put this aside for now, because I gotta get a little mixing cup. Pardon me, still dealing with this COVID. Although I feel good, still wake up with a sore throat in the morning. Okay, just want to get a couple of drops in here, just a little bit. I didn't even, not a little more than that. Okay, I think that is good enough. it should be good. All right. About that much for now. Should be good. Now I will change my camera for you guys so you get to see my painting cam. There we go. My big honking leg. Just do a little bit of a test. Yeah, I think that's all right. Okay. So see, there's the problem right away. You can blow it away. Which is why sometimes it's best to take a little piece of tape and stick it down. And now it won't go anywhere. And I'll just do that with the other one. Just like this. And there we go. Okay. Getting some good coverage now. I like doing multiple passes. I don't want to saturate any one little spot if I can help it. There we go. I think that's pretty good for a first coat. Let's move on to these little cone guys. Go. It's not bad. Pretty good for that one. And I think I've got some tip drying happening on me here. So we'll get some thinner and get a Q-tip. A couple here. So I think my tip is drying a little bit on me. Oh, that was fantastic. Okay. So much for that. Yeah, definitely have a dry tip. I'm not getting any pins out now. So, I'm going to have to clean it up. There we go. Now I've got some flow again. And run that thinner all the way out. Okay. Let's put our lid back on here. Okay, let's continue. Oh yeah, I've got to change this out. There you go. That's better. There we go. That one's done. Now these are dry enough I can flip them over. Okay. What is going on here? I don't know if it's just my own personal technique or what. I'm not sure. I see some guys airbrushing and they're going in all kinds of different little circle patterns and stuff like that. I like to go over and go past my surface so that I don't get excessive paint on different areas. Okay, so now we have this guy to do. Similar to those nozzles. I want to do this. my air pressure doesn't seem to be very good. I think that looks pretty good for that guy. I'm going to put him in my little holder. There we go. Next candidate. There we go. It looks good. Just a spot there. Looks alright. Okay. Now, with those done, we can move on to the main hull. Hull, fuselage, whatever you want to call it. Move these out of the way. These are, well, just a tiny little bit tacky still. That's due to the leveling thinner I put in there. Okay, so I'm going to start with the lower part of the fuselage. I want to make sure I've got enough paint in here, which means I need a little bit more. So let me just add some here. With a little bit of a leveling thinner. Okay. And I know I'm doing this off camera. Just hold on, guys. Just bear with me here. Bear with me. It'll only be a minute. It'll only be a minute. Only be a minute. Okay. All right, let's do a test here. Good. I've got some, there we go. Normally I like to spray paint in the same direction, but the small little area that this sprays compared to a can. Starting to look like a Blackbird again. Got to get in that little seam there. There we go. There we go. There's that, the back half. There we go. So we've got the bottom done. I have to flip it over to do the top half. Unfortunately, there's not much to hold on to this thing to be able to actually hold it. So I do want to give it a couple of minutes to dry. I think my coverage is pretty good. I'm not seeing any spots where that's really noticeable that I missed. Obviously got this little spot here I had to go on and this edge just to get in the little crease in the panel line. But other than that, it looks pretty good. So I'll start on this because I can hold it back here. good so far. This looks like it's dry enough for me to, still a tiny bit tacky. So I'm going to have to maybe do this in 2 steps. Getting a little bit of speckling. I think my paint is thickening up, and that's not good. So let's, I'm going to dump out the rest of my paint, clean up my brush, and set this aside. How am I going to set this down here? Let's lean this up somewhere. Where can I lean this against? Oh, it's going to be safe. This is a challenge. This is a challenge. I need a box that's heavy enough for it to lean up against. But there we go. Okay, so that can sit there for a bit. I want to clean out my brush. So I hardly had any paint left in there anyway, but I need to clean it out. So I'm getting some speckling going on, and that's not good. So I want to clean it all out.
Eventually.
There we go. Okay. Now our paint's mixed, ready to go. And our plane is dry, so we are good to go. Good to go. I'll switch the camera again, so you get to see what I'm doing. The paint actually still feels a little bit tacky, but that's okay. Oh, I'm not really getting full spray pattern. Is my pressure not high enough? Like I should be, oh, that's full pullback. And it's not really spraying. Nice. So I'm not sure what the problem is. I could try turning up the pressure on the tank. Looks good. We got this little spot here. Gotta get in that. Okay. Looking pretty good. I'm doing a little bit more here. Gotta do the inside of the intakes a little bit here. Careful. You have to make sure you get it at all angles. Getting low in the bucket here. As the paint is starting to thicken a little bit. Which explains why it's being a bit finicky. There we have it, guys. Just making sure it get everything on there. A nice good coat on everything. Nothing was missed. And there we have it. A nice, super dark black plane. And this needs a bit of a coat on it. I did not get this one very good. And I feel like I need to get the tail fins done a little bit better. While I've still got paint in the bucket, then I just need to get at the different angles. Just to make sure the whole thing, I don't want any gray showing through from a crack or anything like that. Okay, that's good. And I think we're done. I'm going to double check my exhaust nozzles just to make sure. I kind of want the tips done good. Although I'm going to be spraying them with, I am going to be, yeah, we're out of paint now. I'm going to cheat. How am I cheating? I just put it straight in from the bottle. I just feel like I didn't quite get these good enough. That's a better coat, I believe. And I'll just do the same to the other one, and then we'll be done. There we go. Oh, it's just about perfect timing. Okay, so we're done painting. That's it, we're done. So, now I gotta spend another 10 minutes cleaning my brush again. I don't want you guys to think I'm sitting here doing this in a closed room with no air, no ventilation, just because I'm not wearing a mask. I've got a fan blowing right at me, right in my face. Right in my face. Okay, so with that nastiness out of the way, just a little intake cones. Let's see, how is this doing here? She's looking pretty black, that's for sure. And just a little bit tacky, and of course it's because of my ratio. So you've worn some of the paint off there and here where it's touching on my mat. But that's okay. I can deal with that with the weathering. But I can't really do anything with it now. When you were 10 to 13 years old, I bought a couple of models. I could never properly paint them because I had no skill or money. It's funny how nowadays RTF RC model is actually cheaper than to start on the model hobby, at least here in Mexico. In Mexico, yeah, it can be, especially the RC world, is not a cheap hobby to get into. Over the years, see, I kind of got out of the RC thing once I became a teenager and was more interested in girls. Um, yeah, but the that's something my dad never got out of. My dad's been in the RC thing for years and years and years. Um, Back in the late 80s, he actually became like the international champion for 8 scale racing. Um, but anyway, in North, at least in Canada anyway. I don't know if it's international or if it's just Canadian. I can't remember now. It's a long time ago. But he's always been in RC, and he's had friends come and friends go as they show interest in the hobby. They get into it, they love it, and then they start to realize just how expensive it is. And then they're in it for a year or two, and then they're done. And then that's it, right? And that's kind of the thing I've noticed is a very common reality, is that the maintenance of the cars and stuff like that, or planes or helicopters, whatever you're into, it's expensive. You know, if you're, it's like taking helicopters, for example. You crash a helicopter, that's $100 easy, done, just like that, just to buy some new rotor blades, and that's only if you only break the motor blades, right? Just constant parts replacement is something that is an expense that just never goes away with that hobby. Yeah, pretty much it. Um, it's kind of just the way it is, right? Yeah, so as far as this particular build goes, I'm going to have to let this dry. And because of that leveling thinner has a retarder in it, it's taking a long time to dry. I can feel the tackiness on it. I'm not going to leave fingerprints on it, but at the same time, I don't want to push on it too hard. And I want to just let it sit and dry naturally, and that might take an hour. And so I don't want you guys to sit here and watch me watch paint dry. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the stream here, and I'll continue it a little bit later on, once this is dried and I can get into the actual assembly of this thing. That's when I'll continue it on. I just realized I do have the engines here that are going to be going on here, and this needs to be painted to match this. So I am going to have to do that. I'm going to have to get out my paint again and actually do that. What I might actually do is I might just paint these flat black and not the NATO gray, just to give it a little bit of a different thing, so that just by looking at it, you know there's something unique about that part of the plane. I think I might just do that, because my other option is to glue them onto this and then paint them, which I could do also, but I don't know. Paint dry streams are the best. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave it like this for now, and come back a little bit later on today and continue on it then. I think that's what I'll do. Let's go get myself some lunch, and yeah. So anyway, Coco, I guess I'm going to leave it for now, and well, if I see you later, then I'll see you later. But I'll do my usual plug here for my YouTube guys. Hit the like button in the middle there, and hit the subscribe over there. And if you want to look at still pictures of the models and things that I've built in the last year or so, you can head on over to my Instagram, and you can check me out there. So with that, we'll leave it for now, and we'll be back a bit later. And until then, we'll see you guys in the next one.